What's up, YouTube? This is Drizzle. I thought I'd do a quick video here to show off this laptop I picked up on Craigslist here a couple days ago. I had an Alienware 13, which if any of you watch my channel, then you'll be able to see that a few videos ago. I bought it last year and used it for a while, and typically I buy laptops because I have a trip I'm going on up to Michigan next month to see my folks and my brother and some other family members and so forth, and I like to have a decent gaming laptop with me. But after I'm done with that, it's like they end up sitting, because I use my desktop most of the time to play games, as most people with a decent gaming desktop would probably do, instead of, in lieu of a laptop. But somebody put this on Craigslist the other day, and I kind of couldn't help but snap it up because it was only $350, and it's not like current generation, but it's really quite a nice little machine here. And another reason I bought it is EVGA launched their GTX 1080 Ti Founders Edition cards today, and I mentioned this in my last video that I was going to use their step-up program to exchange my 1080 for the Win cards for a pair of Founders Edition 1080 Ti's. And so when the cards went live today, the site dropped a bunch of times. Like the traffic level just shoots through the roof when brand new GPUs, like a flagship GPU like that, launches. They're always sold out in just a couple minutes, and they were gone in like 30 minutes. But and the site kept going up and down, and it was hard to get things to load. It just kept kind of crapping out, and that was pretty frustrating. But I was able to put in both my step-up requests. My first one went through successfully, but because the site kept dropping, it took like another 10-15 minutes for me to actually put in my second request. And so now I've got email responses from their system that say that both cards are in the step-up queue. The first one I put in has already made it out of the queue, and so that means that I'll get a bill from them pretty soon. Once I pay the bill, they'll give me shipping labels, and I'll be able to send back one of my cards and get it exchanged. But the other card has not made it out of the queue yet, so I think because it took longer to put it into the program, I may be kind of screwed on that one until they get more stock, at which time then it'll make it out of the queue and I can process that one. So I may not get both my cards at the same time, which will kind of suck, but at least I'm in the program. The cost for me to do the upgrade to the 1080 Ti's is only like $80 a card after shipping, because my for the Win Edition cards were about $630 a piece. The 1080 Ti's are $700. All you have to do is pay the difference and then pay for shipping, and I'm just getting 3-day shipping because normally I use Amazon Prime when I buy stuff, and I'm used to paying little or nothing for shipping, and it's actually quite expensive if you go beyond a certain shipping rate. It's telling me there's an update for this. So anyways, the other reason I bought the laptop, besides the trip, is that when I'm sending my cards back, which I had kind of anticipated being able to do them both at the same time, I wasn't going to have any kind of a decent GPU to game with. I had thought, and I still might do this, I have this card here. It's kind of dark in here. I don't have a lot of light, so I'm sorry. But my lamp that I had over here broke. It won't stay up anymore. So anyways, I have this old BFG GeForce 8800 GTS overclock 320 meg edition card. It still works, I'm pretty sure anyway. I threw it in my machine the other day before I got my second 1080, and it installed the driver successfully, and it seemed like it was working, but it was like they wouldn't work together. One of them always would say that there was a problem with it, either the 1080 or this card. I think they're probably incompatible in the same system because this is so old and uses a different driver. But by itself, I think it would work. And so I was thinking of playing around with that and hooking up an old monitor and just seeing how well this can game with a good system behind it, because obviously the rest of my system is much more, the GPU would definitely be the bottleneck. But BFG is a company, some of you probably know this, but went out of business quite a while ago, and I always liked their cards. They have kind of cool designs. The guy with his hands on his head, like he's amazed, or like he's going nuts for this card. I always thought that they made pretty cool stuff. I got this from somebody I worked with a while back for free because I fix cards for people a lot and fix different computers for people I work with, and they just give me stuff that they think is broken, and it needed to be cleaned. And actually, I think this is one of the recovery ones I baked in the oven, and then it worked afterwards. I've had that work about half the time. Like if they have a bad solder joint and you bake it, it fixes the solder joint issue. So that's something I may get around to playing with, and I may do a video on that and just benchmark it to see what it does for the fun of it. I don't even know if it can run. I think these are DirectX 10, so there's probably a lot of stuff it can't even load up. But it'd be fun to play with. So back to the Alienware. This is a pretty baller laptop for the $350. Now I did buy a solid-state drive to put in it for another $200, but I can take that back out later and then just clone the OS back onto the hard drive if I go to sell it. I have a couple people I work with that have already said that if I decide to get rid of it, they'll pay me what I paid for it, so I can get out of it with no money lost and just keep the solid-state drive. I got a Samsung Evo 850 500 gig SSD in there, but as you can see, it is a GeForce GTX 780 mobile with 4 gigs of video memory, which is pretty nice. Still uses PCI Express 3.0 LAN, so that's cool. And then we've got our 4th gen Haswell i7-4700MQ quad-core processor. Somebody is messaging me on Steam, of course. Can't just be left alone when I'm making a video. Sorry about that. But it's got like the badass thing about this thing. Like let me bring this up here that I did not expect. It's got some features on this thing. I think this is a first, like an Alienware 17, like the first Alienware 17 that they launched, like an R1. I'm not 100% sure what the model is, but notice it says it's 3D Vision ready. Well, the reason for that is because I don't know if this is going to focus. Sorry. There you go. It is a 120 hertz panel. 1080p 120 hertz. It's only a TN panel, which sucks. It's not IPS, and obviously it wouldn't be VA, because VA I don't even think exists on laptops yet, but still, 120 hertz refresh rate is badass. So you can play with NVIDIA's 3D Vision on this and watch movies in 3D, or look at images in 3D, or play games in 3D. I don't think the GPU is powerful enough on this to really be playing any modern games in 3D, but it will work for older games. And I did play Fallout 4 on it. Runs that on max settings at 1080p just fine. I don't quite know what the frame rate was, but it felt like it was in the mid 40s to high 40s, so that's quite good for Fallout 4, especially on, like I say, on max settings. And then, what else did it load up on here? I forget what other games I had on it. Let me see if I can... Oh yeah, The Forest. Okay, so The Forest ran on max settings quite easily at 1080p, no problem. I felt like I was getting pretty close to 60 frames a second there, or not more, if not more, I should say. And then the Agony demo ran okay. That's getting to be a pretty intensive game. Boy, I wish he would be quiet for a moment while I'm doing this. Anyways, so it has that. And then the really cool kicker, which I don't know if you can see over here or not. Well, it's too dark in here. But the HDMI port on this is bi-directional. It's HDMI in and HDMI out, which means that I can actually use the monitor on this thing as a monitor for an external device like a Blu-ray player or an Xbox or anything like that. You can actually use this screen as a monitor for another device. That is awesome. So for $350, this is like the most beautiful deal I think I've gotten in a long time on Craigslist. And I get deals on there pretty often, but just really cool features, feature-rich device for the price. So anyways, that's all I really had to talk about right now. I'm waiting for more confirmation from EVGA on my step-up program. I'll be continuing to do more videos. Obviously, when I get those cards, I'll do an unboxing video and a setup, and we'll benchmark them. And also, I'll probably do a video, like I said, about the old 8800 GTS, if I decide to play around with that while I'm waiting for my other cards. And, maybe I'll do another video benchmarking this or something. But I appreciate everybody watching. This has been Drizzle. If you have any questions, or if you like this kind of video, go ahead and click the like and or subscribe button, and I'll be sure to answer your questions in the comment section. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.